And welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health, that program where you get to know about the relentless efforts of NAFDAC to ensure that only wholesome food products, standard and quality drugs, and other regulated products under the agency's control are made available to the Nigerian public. My name is Amanda Ugo. On this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health, the first segment will feature highlights from the Business Day Intervention Series, a forum organized by the Business Day newspapers where stakeholders in the Nigerian economic development vision meet to exchange ideas that help to promote the development of the economy of Nigeria. At the forum, the NAFDAC DG, who gave the keynote address, among other issues, gave a detailed trajectory of how NAFDAC, under her leadership, went through the process of transformation that has repositioned the agency to what it is today. The constitutional responsibility of NAFDAC as an agency that ensures that food, drinks, and other consumables, as well as medical devices and chemicals made available for the use of the Nigerian people, are best quality and standard, has also bestowed the obligation of playing a vital role in contributing hugely to economic development and transformation. These are roles the agency, particularly under the leadership of the current Director General, has significantly and quite evidently played over the last few years. Part of the strategies adopted by the agency is identifying, collaborating, and forming synergies with relevant stakeholders to advance the joint cause of economically developing and positively transforming the Nigerian nation. This open-door policy of NAFDAC to collaborate with organizations of common visions was also what brought about the partnership of the regulatory agency with the Business Day newspapers and, of course, the involvement of the agency in the 2024 edition of the Business Day Intervention Series. The series is a forum where stakeholders in the Nigerian economic development vision meet to exchange ideas that help to promote the development of the economy of Nigeria. The 2024 edition of the series, held on the 5th of July, was aimed at exploring the critical roles of NAFDAC in the Nigerian health sector, as well as the agency's position as a partner in economic development and transformation. The edition, themed NAFDAC as an Agency for Economic Development and Transformation, had the Director General of NAFDAC as the keynote speaker, and in her keynote speech titled Strong Regulatory System, Governance and Leadership, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye explained the trajectory that saw her making the now visible transformation in NAFDAC since she took over the mantle of leadership at the regulatory agency.
I happened to go through a university where I spent 21 years as a professor. And upon getting to that university, I didn't know that they were almost bankrupt in the US. And the president of the university, who came just 6 months before me, the new president, said that he has looked at the books of the university and that everybody in the university needs their brains washed. So we started brainwashing by going through training, quality management system training, for 2 years, focusing on the customers. Our customers in the university are the students. Everybody must down their tools, whatever they are doing, and head to the union building for the weekly brainwashing. How to put your customer first. How to put your customer first. How to do proper documentation of what you are doing. How to digitize your processes to make it transparent. We did that for about 2 years. I did not know that I was being prepared for NAFDAC. This was 1989 and fast track to 2017. So that is 11 plus 17, 28 years. So when I got to NAFDAC, I knew that our brains have to be washed also. Why so? Because we deal with 220 million people, customers. We deal with manufacturers whose investment depends on what NAFDAC does. We deal with children. We deal with pregnant women in terms of the medicines that they take. We deal with all of us in terms of water that we drink, the food that we drink, or we take rather. So we started quality management system in 2018, January or February, 2 months after my resumption. And we went through that training, and we attained ISO 9001-2015 in 2019, ISO 9001-2015. Since then, we've been recertified every year. We became a self-auditing agency, meaning you look at the mirror, say, how do I look? Do I have pimples here or where? How do I treat it? If I treat some things this year, some other things may come up next year. Then you look at the mirror again, we need to do another self-auditing. So we've been doing self-auditing since 2019. And we have been recertified ever since.
Professor Mojisola Adeyeye went on to talk about the creation of a disciplined and motivated workplace.
Who is a leader? A leader is somebody that is self-aware, who has self-awareness. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? A leader is somebody that will look at the strengths of the followers or the key followers and tap on the strength and realize that the followers may also have weaknesses. A leader is somebody that is not afraid to be unpopular. If you are looking for popularity, you cannot be a leader. The first day I met with directors. The same day I met with the union, because NAFDAC was always on strike, from what I was told. The staff were not treated well, and you cannot have staff that are not motivated and you think you're going to achieve anything. You can love your staff, but you have to also discipline them, just like, raising up children, because we are all fallible. So you use one hand to spank them, another hand to caress them.
According to her, some of the strategies she adopted were the increase of the agency's directorate from 13 to 26 for effective management and easy operations, the decentralization of the food registration, making it possible to register food products in zones, clearing the huge debt of about 3.2 billion naira she met an assumption of office in just 1 year, and clearing how not to owe debt subsequently, cutting down unnecessary traveling expenses by embracing virtual meetings through Zoom to manage funds, which of course became very helpful during the COVID-19 pandemic, streamlining lines of report through 8 coordinating directorship and the introduction of quality management systems, as well as ensuring transparency and accountability.
Thus far, we have invested from our own revenues. We have 2 revenues. One is what you call internally generated. One is user fees, what people pay us to do X, Y, Z. We have used more than 6 billion naira on our laboratory, and we have not finished. Still ongoing. I mentioned vehicles are not luxury. 140 vehicles, we are not done yet. My vision is to have 3 vehicles per state based on senatorial districts. 3 times 36, 108. Then we have the technical departments. We have the post-marketing surveillance. We have the enforcement. And you know, for enforcement, you cannot ride Okada. So this is just 140 vehicles. It's still a drop in the bucket. All this reorganization to unlock the economic value chain, because once you control the quality of what you are regulating, there's high confidence with the manufacturer, with the consumers. They will have sustained trading. All this led to us getting maturity level 3, recognition by WHO in 2022. Only 30% of agencies in the world have maturity level 3. I mentioned that we kept improving our laboratories and we're still ongoing, but the Central Drug Lab in Yaba was recognized as WHO pre-qualified laboratory in 2023. Only 11 laboratories in Africa have this recognition. Why is this so important? If you don't have a good laboratory, you cannot have good result. If you don't have good result, it means we are gambling with our clients. We are gambling with the nation, and we are not. So we needed to ensure that our laboratories are well equipped, well staffed. We are still in the process of, it's an ongoing process. Next, please. The maturity level 3 we got is not one-off. Meaning WHO will keep checking on us. They are coming in November to check. Whether we are maintaining it. It is money that we use to maintain. It is staff that we use to maintain. But like I said, we are now self-auditing agency, SOP-driven organization to identify our strengths, our weaknesses as we move on every year. We conduct, of course, that's essentially what it means, internal benchmarking. As a roadmap for successful assessment. They are coming in November to look at where we are, because our journey is towards maturity level 4. Our journey is after maturity level 4 is world listed authority. And what does that do economically speaking? When we have maturity level 4 and world listed authority, products that we approve, medical products that we approve after that date can be traded globally. That is how important quality is to trade. Next, please. Next, please. In terms of construction or construction of state offices, why we are doing it to ease doing business, and also for our global benchmarking. All these are tied together. Why is WHO doing global benchmarking? It's tied to trade. If you don't have good regulatory system, you cannot have good quality. If you don't have good quality, on the short run you may be able to trade. On the long run, everybody will know, yeah, it's coming from that country. You better don't touch them. So we've had, we have about 28 projects, 26 projects. 4 has been commissioned in terms of state offices. 5, maybe 7 now completed. 9 are ongoing, and there are 8 new projects. Why? Because the environment that you live in determines your psyche or influences your psyche. If our staff gets to an office where the chairs are tattered, the tables are falling off, the customers coming in to see tattered chairs and bad environment, it affects the psyche. And our staff spend 8 to 10 hours on the job out of 24. It is extremely important for them to feel comfortable, but more important is our clients.
Other areas the NAFDAC DG mentioned as being instrumental to her monumental success are market control, development of the Nigerian pharmaceutical sector by increasing indigenous drug production, safety monitoring for clinical effectiveness, and pharmacovigilance through the Med Safety app. The Director General also spoke about the frantic efforts being made to sustain the level reached and even advance.
You have been watching NAFDAC and Your Health. The program continues after the break. Welcome back. You are still watching NAFDAC and Your Health.
The publisher of the Business Day newspaper and initiator of the forum, Mr. Frank Aigbogun, earlier in his opening remarks said such a dialogue with NAFDAC is necessary, appreciating the NAFDAC DG and her team for making our time to be part of the forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here this morning for an interesting dialogue. NAFDAC is an agency for industrialization and economic development. At Business Day, working with our stakeholders, we thought it would be fitting to have a dialogue like this where NAFDAC, being a regulator, can be able to speak directly to stakeholders whose business activities are impacted and regulated by NAFDAC. And that is the primary reason why we are here this morning. In a time of considerable misinformation and sometimes deliberate falsehood, we consider it good that stakeholders come together for very, very fertile exchange of ideas that help to promote development in our economy.
Speaking again after the NAFDAC Director General's presentation, Mr. Frank Aigbogun said Professor Mojisola Adeye, through her presentation, had provided profound enlightenment.
What you have said now provides exceptional, profound enlightenment for our people. And I'm glad because you have not just addressed those of us in the room here. This program is being taken live on YouTube, and there is a significant audience that you have addressed who are outside of this room. It's amazing the connection that you have made between the work that you do and advancing the Nigerian economy, especially through the ease of doing business. And I must commend you for especially the decentralization of registration that you have enabled, that ensures that people, small businesses, medium-sized businesses across the country, do not all have to troop to Lagos or troop to the FCT for routine registration. Madam, I indeed commend you.
The coordinating directors of NAFDAC also made presentations on the different areas of the agency's activities.
These are just a brief outlook of what each and every directorate do. For instance, the drug registration, they are responsible for registration of drugs, the draft regulations, and they monitor adverts. Also, the drug evaluation research they are mostly concerned about inspection of premises. The Vaccine and Biologics Laboratory that the DG mentioned is the only laboratory in Sub-Saharan Africa that tests vaccines and biologics. And we are proud that we are able to test all the COVID-19 vaccines that came to Nigeria.
What you see here on the slide is the schematic of the coordinating units of the marketing authorization for food function. We're a cluster of 7 directorates and 2 area of arbitration and regulatory affairs. It's in the middle for a reason, because it's the anchor directorate and the other ones feed into the activities. We have the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate, where I serve as the director. So what we do there is inspection of food facilities, good manufacturing practice inspections. We have the Veterinary Medicines and Allied Products Directorate, which also feeds into the registration process. And what they do there is inspection of feed facilities, good manufacturing practice inspections.
This is just a brief, just to show just to give some numbers of inspections that have been done, and then to tell you the kind of inspections that the different directorates perform. So FSAN, which is Food Safety and Applied Nutrition, and VMAP, we do good manufacturing practice, good hygiene inspection. We also do warehouse inspection. NCS CRO warehouse inspection, FSAN, CR, VMAP, import permit monitoring. So usually if you're going to bring in a chemical or bring in supplements, because the people who do animal feed, so you're using corn or soy or something, you cannot just give corn or soy to the animal. You need to put the vitamins and other micronutrients or supplements. We issue that permit, but we monitor that you're using it appropriately, because we'll check the size of your facility and who is buying it. Are they using it correctly? We monitor all of that. FSAN, NCS, so those are the kind of inspections. Then IRA again.
So as the name suggests, the directorates grouped under the DPI carry out inspections and other activities peculiar to each directorate. And you know that inspections are very, very important. Inspections are, they lead to registration, because you need to have a satisfactory inspection report before your products can be registered. And then for us to sustain the registration, we conduct inspections for surveillance, routine inspections, monitoring inspections. So there are so many forms of inspections that we carry out.
Panels of discussants also had discussions on 2 topics: driving innovations, NAFDAC's impact on economic development, and then regulations to growth, NAFDAC's economic vision. Among the discussants on the panel were Mr. Taye Awofiroye, Managing Partner, The Trusted Advisors, Mr. Kayode Fagboyo, Director, NAFDAC Lagos Office, Mr. Johnson Ikegu, Partner, Digital Technology Phillips Consulting, Mrs. Rosaline Ajayi, Director, Southwest Zone of NAFDAC, and Barrister Abutu, who represented Barrister Bello Mohammed, Deputy Director, Legal Services, NAFDAC.
This is where we draw the curtains on this edition of the program. We shall be back again, same time, same station next week with another detailed package. If you have any information that could lead to nipping the activities of peddlers of unwholesome food products, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment in the bud, please do not hesitate to reach out to NAFDAC.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Remember that it is illegal to produce, import, distribute, market, advertise, or sell unwholesome food products, fake drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment. These acts pose great threats to the health of Nigerians. Till we meet again next week, stay safe.